All right, I'm live again. I need to start doing like long live streams, but then again, it makes it harder for the people that email me to find exactly when, I answer their question in the video. So anyway, welcome back. Like, subscribe, comment, hit the bell button. Email me if you have any questions, and I'll make you a live anonymous video. Now, I have another question from Mr. G, and he basically wants me to talk about the difference between REITs, also known as real estate investment trusts, and actual like personal real estate investing where you go in your community and you buy homes. And he wants to know, I'll talk about each. So a real estate investment trust is basically a bunch of different properties that are pulled together into an investable security. So for example, the VNQ Real Estate Investment Trust ETF is offered by Vanguard. And when you buy a share of that ETF, you're buying exposure to probably hundreds or thousands of different properties across the entire United States in all different kind of industries. So you could be buying like telecom REITs. You could be buying hospital REITs. You could be buying all sorts of properties everywhere. So when you buy into a REIT, you're buying a broadly diversified portfolio that spreads across the entire country, basically. So you're not like hyper concentrated in these insanely expensive areas of the country like California or New York. So I'm personally a fan of REITs. Now, you contrast that to where you're buying a security, a liquid security, and you own thousands of properties. Contrast that to investing in your local community or maybe across a couple cities. So is it possible to make money from doing like personal real estate investing? Yes, it's very possible. Is it highly risky and is it not diversified? Yes. When you buy one or two properties in your local city or maybe somewhere around your state or even in another state, you're exposing yourself to one or two properties, right? And you have to make certain assumptions about cash flow and, what all the expenses and vacancies. There's a lot of assumptions that you need to think about and plan for when you purchase personal properties to rent out to people. So let's say you buy a house and you want to rent it out for $2,000 or the mortgage is $2,000. Well, you need to make enough money in cash flow to actually have a positive cash flow to be able to get money, take that money, pay down the mortgage, and then have some money on the side to profit or to reinvest into another property. Well, there's a lot of assumptions that go into that. You're assuming that a certain increase in property taxes, you're assuming that you'll probably have 5 or 10% of the year where the home is vacant, where you're in between renters. You're assuming that there's not going to be a huge repair. There's a lot of assumptions that go into buying one house. And if you make one mistake, even though it might be something that you thought could never possibly happen, if you make one mistake on a rental property, and you projected initially that it was going to be profitable, and then something happens that you weren't expecting, maybe you can't rent it for 15, 20% of the year, well, you're kind of screwed. You're actually incurring negative cash flow because you're paying that mortgage. When you buy a property, you got to pay that mortgage every month. But if you're not generating cash flow and you make a mistake or you have this huge unexpected bill, you got money that you have to send out, right? Money's not necessarily coming in, but you have to send money out. You have to do it. And that's pretty freaking bad. You don't want to be in a scenario where you're forced to spend money on something that's not making you money. Now, is it possible that you make a good choice? Yes. But is it worth the risk of having to spend thousands of dollars a month potentially, leaving your bank, going to pay a repair or something? Is it worth doing that? I don't think it's worth it for the reward. Now, if you buy a home and you get a great return on it, by renting it out, or, you buy a couple units and you rent them out and you make a great return, great. You might make more money than you would have buying into a real estate investment trust, but you're also taking out way more risk because you are highly concentrated and your assumptions may be wrong. Now, I prefer to own thousands of different properties as opposed to like 2 or 3 properties. Right. And when I buy those thousands of properties in a real estate investment trust, I'm just paying a tiny management fee. I mean, there's like layers of fees in there. because there's multiple layers in there. But at the end of the day, you're kind of paying for what you get. You can either buy something that's extremely liquid, like a share of VNQ, and you could sell it at any time, and you get exposure to thousands and thousands of properties, or you dump all your money in one or two illiquid homes in your community. And let's say you have a cash emergency, you might have a hard time, getting access to home equity because you have to take a loan or either sell the freaking house. So if you kind of contrast those and you say, okay, I own thousands of properties with a real estate investment trust across the entire United States, or I own a couple properties in my local community, so I'm exposed to state risk, like regional risk. It, in my personal opinion, it's not worth it. All right. And it's just a lot of hassle. So there's actually I guess low income apartments across the street. And I was like, you know what, maybe I could buy those and rent them out and make a lot of money. But then I thought about it and I'm like, well, I have to deal with the freaking people living in the house. They do something stupid. They destroy something or something. The heater goes out. I got to go down there and fix it. I got to go down there and make sure something happens. It's a constant hassle. So I don't understand why you'd want to take on a huge risk by investing in your local community with real estate. And then on top of that, you might get freaking phone calls all the time saying, oh, this happened or that happened, or they destroy your freaking floor or whatever. There's all sorts of things that you have to deal with when you own property. But if you buy a real estate investment trust, well, guess what? You own thousands of properties and you don't have to do crap. You just buy it. That's it. And then, if you put it in a tax advantage accounts, you're collecting dividends. You can reinvest them. It's great. All right. So just in summary, I don't think you should invest in, real estate, like be a real estate investor. Now there's all these commercials and everybody's talking about it. Oh, you can make so much money in real estate. But if you don't know what you're doing, you're going to get screwed. And you're going to buy a property that's going to lose you money or cause you to basically spend negative cash flow. And you're just going to be in trouble. Like you're going to lose all your freaking money. So instead of risking your entire life savings on a couple stupid houses that may or may not pay off for you, or rental units or whatever, just buy, if you want exposure to real estate, buy a real estate investment trust and a tax advantage account, and boom, you own thousands of properties with one click. And if you don't want to own real estate anymore, well, if you have a real estate investment trust, you can just sell it when the market opens and boom, you get all your money back. But if you have a bunch of rental properties, it's going to be a lot of work and a lot of hassle to sell it, because then you got to rebuild them back up. You got to make sure they're good, nice and clean. You got to kick the tenants out. You got to, attract people to come in and give them the tour. And then you have to pay realtor commissions. Like, it's just a pain to get rid of a couple houses. Okay. So those are my thoughts. Don't real estate invest. There's going to be people on YouTube that say, oh, dude, you can make so much money, bro. You can make so much money. It's real estate investing, bro. Well, I've made a lot of money. And you know what I did? I clicked a button. I went click, click. And then I bought real estate investment trusts and I bought thousands of properties and they pay me dividends. Isn't that crazy? Why not just do that? Click a button, buy real estate investment trust, and then go hang out at the beach. All right. You may get slightly lower returns, but you're not taking on massive risk. All right. That's my personal opinion. So I have 2 viewers right now. Do you have any questions? Because I think I'm done for the day. I don't think I have any other questions. I may make a video on socialism, just dumping on it, but will that get me canceled off YouTube? Will I lose my channel? Anyway, like, subscribe, shoot me an email. I might make one more video, and you guys have a wonderful day.